Welcome back, fight fans. Welcome the fuck back. Let's just dig right into it. Now, this is all according to the Ring magazine. Canelo Álvarez versus Danny Jacobs reportedly has a rehydration clause in place. It's claimed neither fighter will be allowed to be over 170 pounds at a second weigh-in at 8 a.m. on fight day. There's huge financial penalties if they are over that weight. So 170 pounds at a second weigh-in at 8 a.m. on the fight day. Now, that's very interesting. Danny Jacobs has been rumored to balloon in weight after the initial weigh-in so he can have a strategic advantage on his opponents, specifically the Triple G fight, to see if the weight advantage will allow him to absorb more of the bigger shots, because Daniel Jacobs is the naturally bigger man. Now, against the Canelo Álvarez, this is significant because this means that guys will have more of a even operating fighting and playing ground, so these guys can come in and compete at the same level. But I don't think the rehydration clause is going to determine this fight, honestly. If we have to be unbiased, it's not going to determine the fight, because this fight will be determined based off skills, accuracy, and lateral movement. It's going to be determined off of those basic things. Danny Jacobs isn't weight drained at 160 pounds. He balloons in weight to absorb more shots, not because he doesn't, have the power to land or he can't do other things. If anything, when you look at this situation, Danny Jacobs is pretty much the same fighter, and since he won the IBF title, he understands that there's always going to be a second day weigh-in. But even with this rehydration clause in the contract, Canelo Álvarez is the A side, so he's able to put those things in. Floyd Mayweather is able to do those things. Anthony Joshua, if he were fighting anywhere other than heavyweight, he'd be able to do those things. And A side can always dictate terms, but this fight will not be based on what these guys come in weighing on the day of the fight, because at the end of the day, it's going to be based on skills. Canelo Álvarez has already proven that he can beat a bigger, stronger opponent, so that's not going to be a factor in this fight. You're going to hear a lot of fanboys and these biased people telling you all these different things. Canelo's trying to drain Danny Jacobs. He's not going to be drained, especially at 170 pounds. Let's just be honest and unbiased when we look into this situation. It's just allowing for fighters not to balloon heavily in weight. And I think that's going to help Danny Jacobs and Canelo Álvarez, because you can't put on an excessive amount of weight in such a small amount of time. That's not going to be healthy or good for either fighter. I think that fights are based off skills, not about size. Size can help in different weight classes, but Canelo Álvarez is a very big guy himself. He doesn't have to have the height, but the guy has a natural build that's conducive to success in the middleweight division. He's already proven that he can knock out and stop a guy at a weight class above him that's ranked in the top 10. Say what you want, about these guys, but Canelo Álvarez has proven to be an elite fighter. He's proven to be able to beat guys that are bigger and stronger than him. And I think that this fight will ultimately come down to the skill sets of each fighter. And we can't be biased when we look at this and break it down, because a true analysis of the fighters will realize that they're both skillful, they're both tacticians. This will be a chess match regardless of the weight. These guys will not be weight drained, because this is a weight that they both fight at, and they both professionally had no trouble making this weight fight after fight after fight. They're both elite top level fighters, and that's why they're fighting, and that's why these guys are at the top of the mountain at the middleweight division, is because these guys shown true professionalism. If this was Billy Joe Saunders, a guy who had trouble making weight, then that's something that you could say, hey, and Daniel Jacobs may have used extra weight in the past as a way to be able to absorb more shots, but at the end of the day, it's only helping against certain fighters, because you got to look at it like Triple G. Triple G's biggest threat and weapon was his power. If you look at Canelo Álvarez has a lot more weapons than just power. Canelo Álvarez also has speed. Canelo Álvarez also has counter punching, body punching. Canelo Álvarez has so many other things to worry about that Daniel Jacobs can utilize his skill set, and same as Canelo. It's going to be a chess match, not about the weight. Do not be fooled. Do not let people take you and try to twist your mind on the true situation and the reality of it. It may play a small factor, but not significant enough to determine who will win or lose this fight. This fight will not be won based off the weight or the rehydration clause. This fight will be won based off skills. Once again, unbiased as always, is the Ibfp. Please share, like, and you must absolutely subscribe.